Made it to Oregon Pipe Cactus National Monument. I'm headed to the visitor center to pick up a map as usual. Probably find a place to camp from there. So it was like a 2.5 hour drive from Tucson. I'm like 20 minutes away, so it wasn't too bad at all. Well, just found out it's 20 bucks to use the campground. There's a section of the park about 10 or 15 miles away where you can tent camp or probably sleep in your truck also if you want. So I'm gonna check that out. It's first come, first serve. There's 4 or 5 spots there, so I'm hoping to grab one of those spots at least for tonight and then do a bunch of exploring of the park tomorrow. So that's where I'm at right now. I made it to the campground and no one's here. There's also a pit toilet, which is a huge plus. But besides that, I'm surrounded by cacti and I'm surrounded by awesome cliffs. There's some sort of trail from the back part. It might be this right here, but it goes into that canyon in that direction. But here's an Oregon pipe cactus. Just looking around, there's a lot of them in this area. One over there, one over there, one right there. I wonder why they grow in this area more than others. This is definitely a really nice campsite though. I like this already. I'm gonna be home for tonight at least, maybe even tomorrow night as well. It's easily in the 90s. It's probably up to 95 today, but there are a decent amount of clouds. Not humid at all. It doesn't feel that bad. Alright, I got the awning all rigged up, first time in a while. It's hard to pound any stakes into this rocky ground. One knot tied here to my truck, which I don't know how great of an idea that is, but it's what I thought of so far. And another line tied to the grill here. And I tied a knot where you can kind of slide it in each direction. So if I want to tighten it a little bit, I can slide it or loosen it. Slide it this way. So I tied this line to a rock and I wrapped the rope around the rock there. Tried using the stakes here in this one, but I'm not able to pound any stakes in. If it stays this amount of wind, it should be perfectly fine. It's really nice to get out of the sun, hang out for the rest of the day in the shade. All right, it's like 10 o'clock now. Just getting around to my breakfast. Have some overnight oats as usual. So that should be pretty good. And then I'm gonna head out and do a quick 2-mile hike or so into the canyon that I'm sleeping next to. I think there's a lot to see in this park, and I'm gonna explore as much of it as possible in the next couple of days. I'm all packed up. Let's go on a short hike. The rig is still all set up. I'll take it down when I get back. Got the solar panel charging. Looking nice. Pretty cool area, right? It's really fun to stay here so far. It is the desert, but there's surprisingly a lot of animal activity. There's tons of lizards. Haven't seen any snakes in this area yet, but I'm sure they're around somewhere. There's lots of different types of birds. There's birds everywhere. There's hummingbirds. Seen a few hares. I've seen a few bunnies hopping around. A few mice, desert rats or desert mice. I forget exactly what they are. But once again, I'm glad I'm doing this now. I'm glad I came to Arizona first before Colorado and Utah. It would have been brutal if I came to Arizona in the summer. I probably would have just stayed at the border between Arizona and Utah. Really glad I'm here now, making the most of it. Just another day truck camping. So that's an Oregon cactus, and that's what this park is named after. And it's named that because the Oregon cactus doesn't grow in the US all that much. The Oregon pipe cactus specifically loves the sun, it loves the heat, it thrives in the harsher conditions. So you only see it growing close to the Mexican border, way down south in the US, southern Arizona, places like that. So you usually see them growing on like the south side of a hill, where it's able to get as much sunlight throughout the day as possible. Yeah, they're one of the more resilient cactus out there. So they're able to withstand the heat of the Sonoran Desert. So we have those Oregon pipe cactus. We have the big saguaros, the classic saguaros that you see everywhere here. And we have the jumping choyas also. Here's some choya cactus. I think this is a teddy bear choya, and these will get you because these things fall off pretty easily. Then they fall off all over the ground, and even then one just stuck in my boot. You do not want to mess with those guys. Here's a prickly pear cactus. They do have some blossoms on top that will be yellow, but they're not quite in season yet. What's interesting about the Oregon pipe cactus is that the root system and the bottom of the plant is just so much more vast than a normal cactus. You'll see how wide this thing is. And there's so many sticks and debris and leaves and all sorts of things packed into the middle of the root system. That's where a bunch of animals call home, and there's probably a few there right now, escaping the heat from the sun and some shade underneath the growth of an Oregon pipe cactus. Got some nice windows here. And a back door. This is luxurious. Well, I'm near the end of this hike now, and I've entered the canyon, the Alamo Canyon here. The sun rises from this side, so it took a while for it to come over the mountains on this side. You can easily see the sunset back there at night. I couldn't really see a sunrise from this campsite. All right, well, that was a cool little area and a good first hike of the day. I'm gonna start heading back to the truck, and we're gonna pack up and explore some more. right, now I'm on Ajo Mountain Road and I'm taking the 21-mile loop around Ajo Mountain area of this park. So this desert is about 10,000 years old, which is relatively young when it comes to deserts in general. It's home to over 4,000 different species of plants and animals. The panoramic I just showed you was the Diablo Canyon area. And that basically used to be a wash. So it used to be an area where rainfall accumulated. There'd be flash floods during certain seasons of the year. In this particular valley, the Hohokam Indians lived in Diablo Canyon. There was a small settlement along that area, and they were able to capture the rainfall at certain times of the year. So yeah, I don't know, it's cool to know that Native Americans took advantage of even the harsh conditions of this area and they called it home.